Hello and good morning. Teaching vocabulary. So you can teach vocabulary through one of the following procedures. One, the first one is visual associations. Okay? Visual associations. For example, you can use what we call realia. So you can use realia, you can use pictures, and so on. For example, I can bring materials to the classroom and I can use them to teach vocabulary. So I bring things, objects, or pictures. You can also show pictures. So this is the picture of, let's say, a lion. This is a picture of a mouse, and so on. And then can teach vocabulary. Okay? This is the first procedure. So also you can perform actions. You can act and teach words. Okay? So also you can perform actions. You see? Perform actions. This is one way. Another procedure you can use is context. So number 2, context. It is very important that you explain a new word in context rather than explaining words in isolation, because the words have meaning in context. Okay? Now, you can create a situation, in which the meaning of new words is made clear. Let's give an example. Let's say, Rida. Okay? Sorry. Let's give this example. Rida repairs cars in a garage. Rida repairs. Rida repairs a car in garage. So here I'm trying to provide a context to my students, to introduce the word mechanic, for example. All right? So Rida repairs a car in a garage. So he is a, and then I introduce the job. This is how we can create a context to introduce words. Now, talking about the context, we have some context clues. So the first one, we can talk about, for example, morphology. As you know, we can guess the meaning of word by knowing the prefix and suffixes, and the roots. So students can derive meaning of words through morphology. This is one. We have also synonyms. Okay, we have synonym. We have also hyponym. And we have antonym. Okay, antonym. Antonym. Now let's give an example of synonym. For example, we had never seen such a large cave. It was enormous. Enormous. So obviously, the word enormous is a synonym for the word large. So the student know this word I can give another word which has the same meaning. Right? This is synonym. Hyponym. So hyponym, we have a word that is general, and they have another word which is specific. Let's give an example. The museum contained almost every type of vehicle. So vehicle, that's general word. Then cars, trains, and so on. Okay? Number 3. We have definition. Another procedure is definition. So, talking about definition, when students have adequate language, because if the students are beginners, maybe they don't have enough language. But when students have adequate language to understand a longer explanation, and when the concept is too complicated to be explained, for example, through a synonym, then you can go for a definition. The last one is, if I may write it here, number 4 is translation. Translation. You know, some scholars and educators are against using translation technique because they want to encourage learners to be immersed, exposed to the foreign language, okay, rather than using the mother tongue. However, in some cases, you can use it. For example, when you explain a very complex word, then you can resort to translation. But translation should not be very often, as I said, as it is very important to maintain a foreign language atmosphere. Okay? And the teacher also should make sure that the foreign language word and its equivalents in the mother tongue have exactly the same meaning. So make sure that you have an equivalence and they have exactly the same meaning so that you can use translation as a vocabulary teaching technique. Okay? Then I'm going to stop here for today and I hope to see you soon. Bye.